Hello and welcome to Warhammer Chat number 32. This is Remington Steele with a battle all the way from Warhammer World in Nottingham, and on our left we have Martin's Empire, and on the right, representing animal rights, is myself, Remington Steele, and Mr. Reef with all our Beastmen forces combined. So away we go. It's just a bit of fun. While we're enjoying ourselves here at Warhammer World, we've got a big table that we're playing on, very much bigger than the standard gaming area. Mr. Reef's got a bunch of bestigors there in the middle. He's got 2 chariots, 2 lots of 6 minotaurs. He's got 8 centigores, and on the bottom of the picture, it's just come out of view now. I've got some gores, I've got some bestigores, I've got a razor gore, and I've got my trusty centigores on the table left, led by Warus Gorehoof himself. So, and Martin's Empire troops, he's got lots of people on horseback with 2 up or 1 up armor saved, and as the turn starts, Martin decides to sit back and shoot away. So the Beastman wizard activates his Chalice of Dark Rain, which limits the damage somewhat from the Empire's shooting. He's got some handgunners there. In our turn, our brave Ungor raiders on the left, which you can't see, actually you can just see them on there, they shoot down 1 handgunner and manage to avoid any damage from any retaliatory shooting. The Beastmen actually went first, and we just surged up the battlefield. Didn't really get anywhere near to mount an effective charge, but there we go. We did Bestial Surge. All our wizards have got Law of the Wild, and you can see the battle from the top. And our Cygor model, which is cannonly deployed right in the middle, is the first one to soak up some shooting from the cannon, but manages only to lose 1 wound. I think we launched its stone throw attack and it just went right over the heads of the Empire troops. And to mitigate the damage of the oncoming steam tank, we rush 5 brave Ungor raiders right into its path just to hold it up and perhaps stop its shooting. And on the bottom there you see Mr. Reef's really wonderfully converted Centigore models made up of gores cut in half and stuck on some Glade Rider models. Look really, really cool, and a lot cheaper as well. There we've got some of the Empire horsemen. Not really one for animal rights, them guys. But we see some more brave Ungor raiders to the left that are just welcoming any kind of attack from those lance horsemen. We get a view from above, and you may well notice that Martin's Empire troops on the back are just holding back, and they're going to be shooty at the Beastmen before we can even get there, but it's vastly outnumbered, and it's probably the right thing to do. You can see the lumbering Cygor in the middle, and it's just maybe lost a couple more wounds. Everything else is just rushing forward. You see my Bestigor there on the right. All the forests didn't do anything. We just basically want to roll some dice and kill some stuff, and we just want to get in combat as soon as possible. And so, yes, his horsemen do rush into those brave Ungors. I don't think Mr. Reef actually did roll for this combat because kind of went without saying that the Ungors would get killed. A couple of wounds there to the Centigores from shooting. Here's our big friendly giant. He's standing up for animal rights. He's standing up for the Beastmen. What will you do about it, dear Wargamer? Yep, actually this giant's just watching from the side, just really admired the paint job Mr. Reef's done on that one. Outstanding, my friend, outstanding. As good as anything else in Warhammer World, I'd have to say. So I was taking care of some of my troops on the left, while Reefy was taking care of all the middle and the right troops. So there was a little skirmish thing going on the left, and Martin had some skirmishers which shot up nearly all my Centigores, and Gorus Warhoof didn't even see any battle. He just ran away. And there we see Gorus and his standard bear at the bottom of the screen running away from said shooty Empire men. I had a charge there set up with my Tuskor chariot, but those riders are just going to run away. But they don't notice the Ungors on the hill, which are going to play a crucial role in determining their fate. So we can see here the view from Martin's side, from the Empire. It kind of looks like quite scary, really. What's he going to do about all those rushing beastmen? I mean, his first job, he's going for the Cygor, then he's going for the Minotaurs. I think that's probably what most people would do. Do you think that's the best way to go? We'll soon find out. So we're pretty desperate to get into the fight, and me and Mr. Reefy have a discussion about what we're going to do with that Cygor. He can either throw another rock or get as close as to the Empire as possible. Either way, with only one wound left, he's going to get killed. The third option would be to hide behind the forest and just leg it, kind of thing. He can't march and fire, but he can move and fire. So I convinced Mr. Reefy that we should have one last shot, and why not have a go at the Empire General with a 2-up save and a 4-up ward save on horseback. Boom! Direct hit. 2 to wound, and I wound. He fails his ward save. D6 wounds. There you see the guy at the top of the screen. D6 wound, needs to get 3 wounds, and I roll a 2. Leaving the enemy general with only 1 wound left. Yes, it almost made taking the Cygor worth it for that one stone thrower ability that he has. Needless to say, the Cygor got shot down next turn. So my Gors come through the forest, and they are met by these double-handed weapon-wielding knighty guys with 2-up armour saves. Even with Primal Fury, the Gors that are fighting them, I think that's my regiment there, 25 of them, the ones that took me bloody ages to paint. They stand up to them, but I think that round is a push. I mean, so those knights hold out really well. And what actually makes it a push, which were even on the combat res, was the horse's attack. I think he got actually a couple of wounds through. You see my Ungors on the left, those champion rangers, raiders. They're running away from something, but they're kind of all right. Those guys on my crack shots. You've got the Cygor there. I suppose that's still alive. Minotaurs in the middle, coming through. There you go. So that's the next round of combat. You can see I've started to lose some troops there. Not really doing a lot back to him. Obviously need that strength from the Primal Fury just to give him a -1 armour save. Except on his round of combat, he won the combat and ran me down. And there you go. Months of painting down the drain for a couple of minutes worth of fun. Not for me though. So Reefy's fears about the Cygor came true because the Cygor was killed, instilling a panic test in the Minotaurs and the Razor Gore that you see below, and they run. We see the Esteem Tamp up against the Chariot, and those knights that killed those brave Ungors have run in, and they're making short work of the Reef Centigors. This is my first time ever playing Empire. And bloody hell, they're really hard. And this wasn't a really tough list that Martin was bringing. There was none of those Griffin horsey things. We had all the shooty stuff, but as you can see, that is set up really nicely for a charge from those Minotaurs that are coming in on the left. So Mr. Reef, whether he realised it or not, he actually has got some tactical nous. Because those nasty horsemen are about to get stomped down from the side by those Minotaurs. So we have 3 level 1 or level 2 wizards. Nothing really powerful in the game was taken. We've used the Beastmen's own magic set of abilities. And our wizard, we got off the spell where you can bring on a Gorgon, Jabberslith or Cygor anywhere you want on the side of the board. We've chosen a Gorgon just to mash things up a bit to appear at the back of Martin's board. So he's had to move a lot of figures around. You see the general there on the left. He's going to have to get out of our arc of charge. We didn't realise though, he's just spanned this Hellblaster volley gun that's in this building, span it around and shot at the Gorgon, I think inflicting a couple of wounds and thereby wounding our sorcerer that's brought him on the table. So my Gors were killed but I managed to rush in my Bestigor, who had coming in through the forest there. You can see at the bottom of the screen. It looks like the Razorgore may have rallied, and he's back in action. And the Bestigor this time are mashing up those horsemen with their strength 6 attacks, negating the armour. Mix that with Primal Fury, and they're pretty devastating, doing the job that the Gores didn't. Now we see there that those horsemen in the middle getting monster mashed. With the Centaurs, I think there's one or two that still live from the combat because there's Minotaurs rushing the side, and are just chomping up those lance horsemen there. The Gores are trying to get in there as well. So the right hand side of the board, the centre right, is really dominated by the Beastmen, whereas the centre left is not so strong at the moment. Funny enough, that's the side I was controlling. Oh dear. So Mr. Reef manages even to get a Tuskor chariot to come round the back of those horsemen, just to get them impact hits in, and to make sure they get the job done, and to save his Centaur, because he's still got one left, and he can perhaps save the points. You see, he's got 2 units of Gore. I think 18 models each. They're providing some nice backup there to the army. You can see some dice there. I think I needed 3s to wound, or 3s to wound with the Minotaurs. Or was it a 2 to wound? Maybe a 3. But I got a lot of wounds in on those guys, and they were all mincemeat. As you can see, the Centaur standard survives. He goes back there. I think the Minotaurs, at the top of the screen where you can't see, they still haven't rallied. Yep, there's a couple of wounds on the Gorgon, as you can see. And time was rapidly running out now. A game this size can take a long time, especially when you stop to eat at Bugman's Bar. Some views of the table there. We've got Mr. Reef's Bestigor coming into that steam tank, and they're really doing decent damage on. Can they kill it before those flagellants arrive? I think they get the steam tank down to 2 wounds. Really impressive. If you're wondering what can kill a steam tank in a Beastman army, that's your answer. It's Bestigors, but they certainly can't do it in 1 turn. They're going to need probably 3 or 4 combat rounds to do it. Yeah, so next photo, that's confirmation of the Minotaurs in the middle running. Razorgore's turned round. He wants to get back into the action as soon as he can. Will he make it in time? Such a big board. We're on like turn 4 already, I think. So we see my brave Ungor Raiders there. They at the bottom. They haven't quite yet rallied. My Bestigor have defeated those horsemen, and I don't think at the moment he's got an answer for those Bestigors. And having more time to play, it would be great to see them getting more into combats, because obviously with the despoilers rules, they get +1 when they defeat a unit. They get +1 to their combat resolution. We see those pesky Empire figures. He's got a couple of units there of just sort of halberdiers or gunners. Not really afraid of those guys. Not at all. And unfortunately, that seems to be where the clock ran out and where the game ended. I think obviously Martin holding back like that was a sensible option. However, it was frustrating for us because obviously being Beastmen, we wanted to get into the combat real quick, and we only managed to do that for I think 2 turns, maybe not even that, maybe 1.5 turns. So I think if we'd have rallied those Minotaurs, which there's a good chance we would have, we could have made a short work out of Martin. But a really good experience, a great day at Warhammer World. It was really nice to see how the Ungor Raiders worked, and how they worked redirecting and slowing units down, and maybe getting a couple of pot shots with their arrows. Really useful, and it was also good seeing the Sargor and the Gorgon come out at the end and make the Empire rethink. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you'll stay tuned for another episode of Warhammer Chat. Bye bye.